How are you feeling today? Do you feel fulfilled in life? The show will begin in 4 minutes. Are you ready? When was the last time you felt betrayed? When was the last time you felt loved? The show will begin in 3 minutes. Are you ready? What did it feel like to be in love? What is the most painful part of being in love? The show will begin in 2 minutes. Are you ready? Are you ready to be transformed? Are you ready to make a change? The show will begin in 1 minute. I hope you're ready. The show will begin in exactly 30 seconds. Get ready. What if I told you there are a few painfully horrible truths about men that you must know before dating? What if I also told you These truths are so graphic that they will shock you while simultaneously enlightening you. Oh, some people said no sound, no sound for you guys on TikTok. Let's restart this, okay? There you go. You guys have sound on TikTok, okay? We'll restart. What if I told you that there are a few painfully horrible truths about men you must know before dating? What if I also told you these truths are so graphic that they will shock you while simultaneously enlightening you? If you're smart enough to know that learning this before having to experience this will save your life, then join me on today's show where we'll be discussing 7 harsh truths about men I'd share with you if you were my little sister. That way you can be armed with information that could possibly save your entire dating life. Welcome to the Players Club. If you're paying attention to me and everyone else in the live stream, please say here present so I know you're here present and actively participating. How you guys doing on this Monday afternoon? Okay, so good to see you. So good to spend some amazing quality time with you here live. You know I'm live and direct. This ain't no pre-record. Okay, this really me here. That's why I can fix things if it's mute and all that good stuff. All right, let's get started today. Now I know. Tell me, by the way, how was your weekend? I want to know. I want to see how you guys were this weekend. If you had a good time, enjoyable time. Hopefully you had fun, but not too much fun. Not fun that's going to damage your emotional well-being. I hope. All right, make it all better. Now I know we had a show. I think it was about a week ago, where I discussed with you guys harsh truths I'd share with you if you were my daughter. Now, you're probably wondering what's the difference between that show and this show? The difference is the way a father will share with you information will be very holistically, right? He's going to try and, share some things, maybe sugarcoat some things in order to protect the tenderness of a relationship that a man will have with his daughter. Now, the way a brother will share with you information that he wants you to understand will be quite a bit more graphic, a lot more brutally honest, direct, and to the point. So in today's show, a lot of what I'm going to be discussing with you is going to be a little bit more painful and a little bit less tender than when I shared with you the harsh truths from a fatherly perspective, okay? They're all going to be different things, but we're going to kind of discuss them in detail, and it's going to feel a little bit differently, okay? So I got a new marker today, so no more marker problems. And first things first on the docket, okay? This is very interesting, a very interesting concept that I want us to kind of take in here that will be really beneficial, I hope, for all of you. Encouragement versus empowerment. Now, there's going to be a very sneaky trick, me as your brother. So the rest of the show, I'm going to talk to you as if we're really brother and sister. So I'm going to refer to you as sister and all that good stuff. We really want to play the role here, okay? So, sister of mine, I want to share with you a very important secret about men in today's society, okay? This is a little bit different than the tricks that men would have played back in the day. Why? Because they have different resources and the way we go about society is slightly different, okay? So, sis, let me help you with this right here where, I like to draw charts and visuals and all that good stuff. So, we're going to have on both sides here, we're going to have one side. Encouragement, and on the other side, empowerment, okay? SAT words. Now, this is very important for you to understand that there is a difference between these two, and the men are going to confuse you with this in today's day and age in order to take advantage of you. Now, let me explain. See, in today's day and age, there is, a new concept that has arisen that is actually really beneficial to the world. This is why it's so confusing to you. See, the new concept in today's world that we live in the modern age is that you are equal to the men in the sense that you're just as smart, you're just as intelligent, you're just as capable. You can do a lot of the jobs that the men can do. That's great. That benefits the world and makes the world a better place. I agree with that, and I think you're an amazing sister and capable of so much. However, there's a very important concept that I want you to grasp and wrap your head around that will actually show you how men are using that against you to have you benefit them and actually you end up losing. So let's kind of look at this here, right? See, one of the things that men are going to encourage you to do, right? And encourage you to act on is to they're encouraging you to be more like the men, okay? And we can actually say here, we can even say they're empowering you, right, to be equal to men. And let's even erase this, because what's actually happening underneath the hood is a different type of encouragement. So you have here the men are trying to encourage you to be or empower you to be equal to the men. You're just like the men. So you want to know one of the really sneaky things that they will tell you, hey, because you're equal to men, you should act as the men do. And you want to know one of the main things that men do? They sleep with whoever they want to sleep with. They have one night stands and they're fine. They go here to one party, they sleep with whoever and they're all good. They're not attached. They have a thing with this girl while having a thing with this girl, while having a wife, while having a girlfriend, and they don't seem to be attached to anyone. They're almost like sociopaths, to the point where you start saying to yourself, if all of these other men can do it and they're, okay, they're fine, they seem to be able to serve themselves and not care, why should I care? I should be more like the men. And you want to know what the men say in today's society, sis? This is the trick here. They say to you, oh yeah, you be more like the men. Yes, I encourage you. I encourage you and empower you. You're just like the men, okay? You're so equal to us. You sleep with whoever you want, whenever you want, however you want. See, but here's the trick. They're pretending to empower you to be equal to the men. But what they're actually encouraging you to do is they're encouraging you to sleep with men for nothing, okay? You want to know why this is a really good thing to encourage you to do? Because when you're convinced that you're doing it of your own free will, of your own volition, because you're equal and just like the men, do you want to know what happens to them? They no longer have to be in a position where men used to have to be in, which is to coerce you or convince you to sleep with them because they want this so badly. Instead, you feel like you're doing it because you're one of the guys, okay? Right? So this is the really horrible part about this, and it kind of gets progressively more worse. We're going to try kind of draw a chart on this, right? So because you're equal to men, right, they also empower you, right? They also empower you that it's your body, your choice, which it is. Which is why, sister of mine that I love so dearly, this is a very graphic conversation we're going to have, but I love you and I care about you and I want you to do well and not fall for this trick. Because this is true. It is your body and it is your choice. But what you don't realize is they're not saying this to empower you and make you feel great about the world as it currently exists. When they emphasize this to you, what they're trying to do in the process of making you feel empowered is to not vet the men that you're sleeping with. You want to know why that's so great for them? Because if you can spend less time actually thinking about the decisions that you're making and who you're deciding to let into your body and who you're deciding to bring close to you, the energy you're allowing to be literally inside your womb and inside your spirit, that's more beneficial for the men. Because then they come along into your life, and once again, without you ever thinking of consequences or your future happiness or how this actually affects you, this interaction that you're having with this man, You're convinced that just because you feel some vibes and you want to sleep with him, that you're just like the men, you don't have feelings, you can detach yourself, and you can sleep with whoever you feel like sleeping with. It sounds great, and they empower you to make you feel like you're making the right decision. But once again, you end up realizing only after the fact of sleeping with him that this is a bad choice, because they use what you thought was empowerment to encourage you to sleep with men for nothing and sleep with them without even going through the process of vetting them, vetting who they are, vetting what they're about, vetting what their motives are. And when you make that decision, you end up feeling empowered in your decision. And you want to know what happens to him? He gets to walk away scot-free, making you feel like you slept with him on the first night because that's what you wanted to do. But you want to know what happens after that? He ends up withdrawing himself or going about his life how he was going to go about it. It's just instead of him having to explain to you why he's abandoning you or disappearing on you, he gets to make you feel like you made the decision that you wanted, and in the process of that, it just happened to happen. Okay? So this is very bad because, see, you start to feel in the ways that guys will present this to you, right? Telling you, oh, you go sis, sleep with whoever you want. You're just like the guys. Oh, you're a player too. You're like the female version of me. Oh, you a dog too, right? You're just different, right? And they make you feel like you're doing something right by sleeping with whoever you want, whenever you want, however you want. Because it's your choice. See, it is your choice. But what you don't realize is regardless of what choice you make, there will be good and bad consequences to your choice. They never tell you that though, okay? Right? They never warn you that there are consequences to the choices that you're making, right? They empower you to make you feel like that you're always right. Meaning, they're empowering you to make you feel like you can't make no wrong. In fact, I don't even want you to start to think to yourself that there could ever be a bad decision when you make that decision. Why? Because when you do this, they're simultaneously encouraging you, right? Oops. You get my point, okay? I couldn't fit it all in there, okay? They don't want you to think of the consequences. They don't want you to realize that when you sleep with a man and that guy has ulterior motives, or he's not invested in this relationship, or that he's just going to abandon you or playing a role here, that you're not going to realize that the process of you making this decision will eventually have you in a place where you feel horrible about yourself, where you feel taken advantage of, where you feel icky because you just spent this time with someone that clearly doesn't care about you, doesn't want the best for you. In fact, in some cases, you've just laid yourself down with someone who actively hates you or is disgusted by you or has little to no respect for you. That would make any human being feel icky and disgusting. But they don't want you to think about that. And I'm telling you, this is your big brother. I'm telling you this in this age. This is what's really happening. They don't want you to think about that. They just want you to be convinced that you're a hot girl, capable of making any hot girl decision that you possibly can. When you make those hot girl decisions in the moment without ever thinking about the consequences, they benefit, not you. That's the craziest part about the empowerment versus the encouragement, is that it feels like they're telling you you're doing a good job by making a horrible mistake. But they never tell you the backside, which is that it's a horrible mistake. Because the things that serve you in a relationship, right, and in love and in life are different from the things that serve a man in love, relationships, and in life. So when they encourage you to be more like men and you feel like they're empowering you to live in the ways of the men, be detached like the men, sleep with whoever you want like the men, you don't realize they're not encouraging you to do that because they actually care about you or your empowerment. They're encouraging you to do that because in a lot of cases, that benefits him, because who is one of the first people you're going to sleep with, when he's singing your praises and telling you how amazing it is to sleep with whoever you want, whenever you want? you're more than likely going to sleep with the person that's close to you, or he's hoping at least. And then he can win, get what he wants, and make you feel good about it in the process as if you made that decision. It's very next level. And in our modern day society, it's a different type of manipulation that the men in the past didn't have, because society was different, and society wasn't encouraging you as much to see yourself as an equal to the men, right? See, it's funny because they use something that's meant to be good and meant to actually bring more positivity to the world to actually get and extract something out of it, okay? Now, sister, I see some of you guys in the comments saying this makes I have so much anger. I'm not saying this to make you angry, but I do want to help you realize the truth here, because men are doing this to you without you realizing it. And in fact, the other women in your life that are convinced of this are actually aiding them in this process of making you feel like being a hot girl is the way to go, because that's what's going to benefit you in life. You still end up traumatized, you still end up feeling horrible about yourself, and you still end up feeling used, right? And the best use of your time and your energy is to guard your time and your energy away from people who you're unsure about. And always be in the business of vetting men and going through the process of ensuring whoever I'm allowing into my life, whoever's energy I'm allowing into my life, into my spirit, into my body, I am sure that that is someone I actually like and actually feels the same about me and actually wants the same things about me. Not just going about my life willy-nilly because I'm encouraged to be more like the men, okay? You don't want the trauma that the men have. You don't want the, emotional pain that the men have. You don't want none of that. And you don't want to bring any of that bad energy into your life, okay? Very, very important, okay? Please, my sister, don't do this. This was very important. That's why it's number one. Does that make sense to you guys so far? I know we kind of covered a lot in encouragement versus empowerment. Do you guys have any questions? I know we going like a big brother today, so it's gonna be a tough one, but I want you all to learn this and understand this better because it will benefit you. Does that make sense to all of you so far? And why that's important? All right, number two. Oh boy, just as important. Please, please, please avoid these fake friendships with men. We have to get into this. Oh boy. Sister of mine, I want you to understand, men will always convince you that they're doing things for you for the purpose of being nice to you, okay? I need to draw this out in a visual because it's just not gonna hit the same unless we do the visual, okay? You're here, okay? And let's say he's over here. In between you guys, we're gonna put a box, okay? And on top of this box right here, we're gonna label this box, okay? We're gonna label this box friends, right? So let's say that this box here is the box that you're capable of observing, right? So you're observing that his intentions towards you are that he wants to be friends with you. Now, here's the really horrible part about men that I need to help you understand. Within this box here is actually something very hidden and secretive, okay? And we're gonna call inside this box here we're gonna call this box here the secret desires. Now, here's the thing. In this visual here, you can't see the secret desires box inside the friendship box. Why? Because you're not meant to see the secret desires box. Because men don't want you to realize that the reason they're going above and beyond for you, or they're trying so hard to maintain this friendship out of you and him, is not because he cares so much about you guys being genuine friends together. It's because he has a secret desire to either progress a relationship with you romantically or to sleep with you. And this is the thing about this box. This is the interesting part about this box. This box here will only present itself to you, right? It'll only come out to play if you give him the opportunity to see that this is his time to shine. And so a lot of men, for multiple different reasons and multiple different ulterior motives, will keep this secret box hidden from you until he sees that this might be the opportunity where he can actually show you his true secret desires. So there's different ways when men will keep those secret desires hidden underneath the box of friendship, or we should say inside the box of friendship. One of those examples is when a man asks you to be friends who was either once your ex or someone who you try to build a romantic relationship with, but because of the ways that things couldn't work out, because of, things that may have transpired back and forth, for whatever reason, the relationship didn't work out. The romantic relationship didn't work out. And then these men will say, hey, you know what? Let's not worry about the romantic relationship anymore. Let's be friends instead. So you're probably thinking, well, Thompson, that guy had an opportunity to date me, so now he just wants to be friends. He's made how he feels clear. Wrong! Little sister, I'm telling you, it's wrong. What's really happening is this secret desire here, underneath the box of friendship here, is that he wants to keep you on the back burner, understanding that he could possibly downgrade you from having to invest in you like a boyfriend would. And if you guys can become friends instead, maybe he can get you to continue to sleep with him, continue to utilize you as a girlfriend when he wants to, okay? You're like a fill-in girlfriend. Like they have portable houses? You're like portable girlfriend, right? He can call you up on a hotline and order you to his house when he feels like having a girlfriend for a couple of days. But he can keep you as a friend, even though his secret desire here is to have you like a hotline girlfriend that he can call up for a couple of days, right? And so that's one of the examples of how men will fake their friendship with you in order to pursue an ulterior motive. Okay. And the other way is for men to tell you that they're only, talking to you, they're only being nice to you because of friendship. Right? And because they want this friendship so badly, when in reality, the real reason they're doing that is to eventually get the opportunity to either sleep with you or have an opportunity to build this relationship if you don't want him. And so the reason I say that is because I don't want you to get tricked into thinking that men in your life who are going above and beyond, doing things for you, being overly nice to you, trying so hard to maintain and keep this friendship is simply because they want to be friends. Now, I'm not saying you're not such an amazing person that men wouldn't want to be friends with you or people wouldn't want to be friends with you. But I want you to understand men do not go out of their way to invest heaps and heaps of energy and time into women they have no investment into. And what I mean by that investment, right? They don't see it ever going anywhere, or they don't foresee themselves having an opportunity that they would want to take. Okay? I just want you to understand that because men don't do things for no reason. And I don't want to say that men are evil people or they're all horrible people. I just want you to understand that the men in your life that are claiming to be just your friends, or the men in your life that maybe the relationship didn't work out and now they want to just be friends, it's not for no reason. And what I want you to get smarter at and more educated at is understanding how friendship a lot of times will benefit men in a way where they will still have this open-ended opportunity that maybe things could change, or maybe they could get something out of this friendship and receive something while you get nothing in return. Okay, so I just want you to be more aware of that as my sister so that you're not out here getting played under the box, under the umbrella of friendship, okay? Because friendship can become very confusing to a lot of people, including you, to the point where you don't understand that you're building a friendship with the guy you're sleeping with and how that makes no sense, okay? Let's hop into number 3. Okay, I told you these are all gonna be pretty painful today, but it's good for you to learn this as my little sis, okay? Men don't just want to be friends for no damn reason. I'm going to tell you the truth there, okay? And they not going to admit that. All right. Now, let's hop into number 3, okay? You guys following me so far? I'll make sense. I know I'm going fast. By the way, if you miss any and you're on TikTok, go up on my YouTube. My YouTube is just Tomisin Atobatele. You could type it in there and you could find it there, okay? Right. Let's hop right into number 3. 3 is isolation. Now, let's look at this scenario right here, okay? So you have the man over here. And let's say we have you right here. And beside you are all of your beautiful and amazing friends, okay? F is for friends who do stuff together, okay? So you have all of your friends over here. And we can even add here, we can even add in these circles some fam as well, okay? So think of all of these people around you that are in this circle over here, right? We'll imagine all these people as your, oops. I spelled that wrong. This is all of your support system, okay? All of these people within this box here are in your support system. These are people who love you. These are people who care about you. And we'll even add here, these are people who are platonic friends of yours. Not friends with ulterior motives. These are like girlfriends of yours. Okay, so this is your support system of people who love you, cherish you, and care about you. Then you have the man over here. What you need to understand is my little sister. There will be some men that you meet in this life, in this dating life, okay, that will attempt to take you away from your support system and bring you over here, where you can be beside him. Let me draw this better. They'll attempt to bring you over here, where you can be beside him in isolation, away from all of your friends and family. This is not an accident, okay? The reason they're doing this is because when they can take you away from this support system, you lose your ability to be grounded as a human being. What does being grounded as a human being mean, little sister, you might ask? Being grounded as a human being is your ability to have happiness, right? Your ability to stay sane, and your ability to have people around you who care about you, that can advise you or speak up when they see that you're not in line with where you're supposed to be in life. People that from an outside perspective can let you know when you're slipping, when you're wrong, or when you're off. People who actually want to see you win in life and want to see you do better, that can actually observe from an outside perspective that certain things that are operating in your life are actually taking away from your happiness. This is a very important thing to have in life because none of us are capable of existing in isolation without our support system. We all need that. But it benefits men to take you away from that support system because when they do, they can treat you however they want to treat you. And it will become increasingly, and let's even say exponentially, more difficult to identify mistreatment, to identify disrespect, and to know how to deal with it accordingly when you don't have that support system to advise you or ground you. Simultaneously, this man will also become your sole source of happiness and your sole source of feeling loved. Those are very bad, because when he becomes your sole source of happiness, you find it way harder to walk away from him, to leave him, or to say no to him when he tries to lead you astray or ask of you something that makes you uncomfortable, because you start to feel threatened. Anytime he asks something of you and you say no to it, you start to feel like he might turn away from me, he might not like me anymore if I tell him no, or he might not want to be my boyfriend anymore. And you know why that benefits him? Because then he can put you in a position where you don't feel comfortable speaking up for yourself. He's your sole source of happiness. He's your sole source of even feeling loved and cared for. We all need that in all facets of our life. We're all not capable of existing without that. So when he becomes this sole source of happiness and love for you, you have nowhere else to turn. That puts him in what I would call to you, little sister, that puts him in a situation, a position of leverage, as we would say, because he has negotiating leverage to say, if I ask for anything, if I say anything, if I do anything, you will not speak up for yourself because you have nothing to speak up for. What are you going to use as leverage? That you'll walk away? You'll walk away to what? You have nothing. It's just me and you. Forever. And you'll start to feel like there is no way for you to get out of a situation, even though you can identify that the situation doesn't at all benefit you. So, little sister, the best thing for you to do whenever you're in a situation like this, or whenever you see a man is trying to isolate you away from your support system, is to say, swiper, no swiping. Okay? You're like Dora the Explorer. Swiper, no swiping. I will not abandon my friends and my family and the people who have been here before you and have loved me unconditionally to build my life solely with you and take away all my time and energy away from them and only care for you, only tend to you, only be around you. Never, little sister, will you abandon your girlfriends for a man. Never will you abandon me or the rest of our family for a man. When a man comes into your life, I'm not saying that you ignore him or not spend time with him, but you make him, you build him in and bring him as a part of your life, but you also make sure to prioritize the people that were with you and supporting you before that man ever came into your life. Even if that means sometimes you have to say no to that man. Tell him you're unavailable at this time. Tell him you can't answer him at this time. Even if it's an emergency, you have to put your foot down sometimes and say no. This time is for my family. This time is for my friends. This time is for my support system that loves me and cares about me because they need some of my time and attention as well. It's not just all about you and what you want and me being with you in isolation. When a man can isolate you, that's when he can take really, really good advantage of you. Okay, let's hop into point number 3. You guys taking this in so much? I see Sheridan says, okay, big brother, I hope you guys are listening. It's very important, okay? Very important today, all right? Let's hop into point number 4, okay? All right. So, point number 4, very, very important. I want you to take something from this concept in point number 4, because I think that it will help you in a lot of different ways, okay? We're calling this, lottery ticket love, okay? The reason we're calling this lottery ticket love is because of how I want to explain this to you in a way that makes sense. So let's say you have a lottery prize, which is $1 million, okay? And playing the lottery will give you an opportunity to win this lottery ticket. Okay. So let's say you say, oh, I really want to, win this lottery. So then you say, I'm going to spend $10 on a lottery ticket. Okay. Right. And then you say, well, I really, really want to win this lottery and I want to give myself another opportunity to win this lotto. So you say, I'm going to spend another $10 on this lottery. And let's say, for the sake of example, that this lottery throughout the, let's say, week gets upped to $1,500,000. And then you say, but wait. If I get one more lottery ticket, maybe I'll have a better chance of winning. And let's say, again, at the end of the lottery, there's so many people playing this month that the lottery gets upped to $2,500,000. So you say, I'm going to get me one more lottery ticket. Nah, never mind. I'm going to get two more lottery tickets. Okay? Now, here's the thing. Let's say the lottery goes by and you lose out on this lottery. Oh, you lost this lottery. Oh my God. And you spent all this money. Okay, you lost the lottery, but you tried your best and it was really good. But let's also say, when you lose this lottery, that you lose the lottery by a single digit. One number. Let's say your last number was a 4 and you had a 3. And you lose the $2,500,000 lottery by a single digit. And you're like, oh my God, if I would have just got one more digit different, I would literally have this money inside my bank account. So you want to know what you do the next month when the lottery is $3 million. You say, I'm going all out and I'm buying myself $1,000 worth of lottery tickets, because I know last month I was so close to getting the lottery, one digit off, that I was just about to get it. And if I get $1,000 worth of lottery tickets this month, I'm guaranteed to win. That's not how the odds work, okay? But I want to explain this to you in an analogy so I can kind of connect this to you with the men that you're dating. See, this is what will happen with guys that you begin dating, some of them. Your relationship won't work out the first time. It won't work out the second time. And you'll constantly be going through problems in the relationship trying to make this work. He'll disrespect you, he'll flop on you, he'll ignore you, he'll ghost you, he won't treat you right, and all of these things will go wrong. But each time something goes wrong, instead of you saying, you know what, I'm realizing this isn't working out, for whatever reason, even if I can't put my finger on it, and I'm just going to allow this relationship to fizzle out and die. What you're going to end up doing is saying to yourself, but I feel like we could, if we just fix this one thing, or I feel like I could just change him, if I could just change him in this one way and turn this around, everything would be different and he would be perfect and he would be my perfect man. So because you constantly feel like it's just so close that you could change one thing and everything would be amazing in your relationship, you continue to buy and buy more lottery tickets. And in this case, you continue to, for these lottery tickets, you continue to invest and invest and invest into this man, hoping that one day he'll make the change that's necessary for you guys to have a successful relationship. And you want to know what happens after you invest and you invest and you invest and you invest? Every time you feel like, oh, I was just that close to having a perfect relationship with this man. If we just could work on this one thing, or he could just change this one thing about his life or his job or the way he acts or the way he treats me, we could be millionaires. I could win the lottery and have the absolute perfect man. But the problem is, sis, that day never comes. And even some men will have you believing in the fact that that day is coming tomorrow, or the next day, or the next day, or the next day. And they'll constantly make you feel like, in this analogy, where you just lost the lottery by one digit. And it's just one quick little fix that will change your entire relationship. And in fact, that one quick little fix, the men will try to convince you it's just about to happen tomorrow. You know, those of you that be dating men with girlfriends or that are married in some cases, they'll tell you, I'm about to sign the divorce papers literally tomorrow. I'm buying my ballpoint pen from Staples. I want to get a good one, black ink, really nice. And when I get my ballpoint pen from Staples, I'm going to sign my pretty signature on those pieces of divorce papers, and I'll be officially divorced from my wife forever. And continuously on an ongoing basis, you invest and you invest and you invest and you invest, hoping that that day is going to come very soon. It's tomorrow. He's going to put the ballpoint pen on the paper. And the day never comes. But what the smart and intelligent, tricky men will do is when the lottery comes and they spin all those balls, he'll make you feel like you lost out on the lottery by one digit. Just one. And because you feel like you lost out on the lottery just by one digit, it gives you just enough hope, right? Just enough hope to invest $1,000 now. Because you're so hyped up off the dopamine that I could have won. We could have been together. You almost got the divorce. You almost broke up with your girlfriend. You were just about to do it. But you did it because of this small little reason, but you're going to do it very soon. So I'm going to invest myself more because the day is coming. The day is definitely coming, and it never comes. My dear little sister, it never comes. So never look out for the men that will tell you that your lottery ticket to love is on its way. Please, never. You only deal with the men in your life that will show you what you're expecting to see right now. And if for whatever reason he can't show you what you're expecting to see right now, you abandon that man and you run away from him like he has the cough, okay? A bad cold. You get far away from that man. Do not continue investing time and money. Sorry, I shouldn't say time, money. Time and energy over and over and over again and allowing him to convince you that you lost out on your lottery ticket by one digit, okay? Let's hop right into point number 5, okay? We zooming through this. We got 7 to do, so I gotta make sure I get through all of them. Am I making sense to you guys so far? Do you guys have any questions so far? I want to make sure we're all on the same page. My little sis, I want you to get this. I want this to stick in your brain forever, right? I want us to all be on the same page for real. Okay, so. Number 5. You got to, little sis. You got to see that man angry. You have to. This is an easy mistake that a lot of other women will make. And me as your big brother, I'm going to tell you this something very important, okay? Guys are great at making you feel good when he feels good, okay? When he's smiling, when he's horned up, he's got that blood rushing through in between his legs. He's really good at making you feel amazing about yourself and amazing about this relationship. But what I want you to understand is something that I'm gonna paint a visual for you, okay? That way we can all be on the same page. See, here's the thing. When a guy is happy, they're very good. I should even put an equal sign. They're very good at giving you treatment that goes up when they're very happy, okay? Happiness equals good treatment. Here's the thing though. Some men that you will meet when they are upset, you will notice that your treatment goes down. And in some cases, what you're going to notice is that when that man is angry, his treatment of you doesn't just go down where you're no longer being treated like a princess and you're just a regular person. You'll notice that his treatment of you becomes disrespectful. He starts saying things about you that you've never heard him say. He starts talking to you in a way that you've never heard him talk. and he starts addressing issues that he has with you in about things that you never even heard or knew that he had issues with. This is a very dangerous type of man, because what's actually happening is he's showing you how he really feels about you and what he really thinks of you. And see, here's the mistake, is that when this happens, little sister, guys will try to convince you that's not them. Oh, it's not me, I was just angry. Oh, it's not me, I was just upset. I was going through this, I was stressed out, I was, no, my this and my sister and my mother and my job and my... They will make you feel like they were just out of body. It was an out of body experience, not their fault. Here's the thing though, that is really who they really are. And the thing about it is, even when they're angry or upset, whether it be at you or they're angry or upset at their life, it's very important for you to take notice of how he treats you in those moments. Because the reality of it is, in those moments, those are the most vulnerable times where you're going to get the rawest emotion and the closest to the feelings and thoughts that he actually has. Because see, when people are happy, part of the reason that this treatment of you goes up is because men are good at filtering their words and emotions when they're happy, okay? Because it's easy to pick out what you want to say, what emotion you want to show, send it through a filter, and then deliver it to you through his words and his actions, okay? When he's happy and everything is good. It's a lot harder to do that as a human being when you're emotional, when you're angry and when you're upset. See, when you're angry and when you're upset, for these men, that filter goes away. It disappears. There's no more energy to be able to take a thought or a feeling or emotion, filter it through everything else that makes it sound good and feel good, and then deliver it to you. So what ends up happening is you actually end up hearing a truer thought, a truer feeling, or a truer emotion from them. So what I want you to take notice of, not only when they're angry as well, right? We're going to also add stress here, right? We're going to add family situations, right? We'll say work, right? And we'll say even things like when he himself is sad. You want to understand what is the treatment I receive in all of these different emotional states. Okay, someone even said hungry. Yes, when your man is hungry as well, okay? Right? You want to understand, even if he's hangry, what is the level of treatment that I receive when you're in these range of different emotional states? Because that is going to represent to me how you really feel, what you really think, and how you're really prepared to treat me. Because it's easy for you to treat me good when you feel good. A lot harder to treat me good when you don't feel so good. Because that's when, for a lot of people and a lot of men, all of the excuses come. You're going to hear a lot of excuses from men when they're emotional. I can't handle my emotions. I was so angry at this. I was so angry at that. This upset me so much. That's what's really going to tell you more about a man than any gift he can get you, any date he can take you on, any amount of money he can spend on you, okay? Seeing how he treats you during these times will be the closest thing to the truth that you can possibly get to. So I say this to say, little sister, when you date men, never, ever, 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 ever assume that you know them until you go through the range of different emotions with them, that you're able to see them when they're angry, when they're stressed, when they have a work situation, a family situation, when they're sad, when they're crying. Get to know what your relationship is like and how he chooses to treat you when he goes through those emotions. Then you can make a decision after you learn that information and say to yourself, okay, I think I understand you a little bit better now, know you a little bit better now, and know what our relationship is really like, okay? Because sometimes if you don't do this job, eventually this day will come when he feels those emotions, and you might be in total and utter shock of what happens to your relationship or what happens to his treatment of you when he goes through these emotional states, okay? Does that make sense? Very important, right? Someone says that now I'm deciding to let him go. Little sister, this might bring you to some painful realizations about some of the men you've been dealing with. Now, I'm not saying this to, make you break up with the guy that you're with, but I'm saying this to bring you some enlightenment because I'm a man. I know how men operate and I know the reasons that they do a lot of the things that they do. Even if they want to deny it to you or tell you that it's untrue, I'm telling you, I'm a man. So I know how they think on the deep down, deep dark that they don't even want to share with you, okay? Let's move on to point number 6. I know we've been through a lot, little sis, but we're going to get through it, and I hope you learning something. I hope I'm bringing you some enlightenment here. It's very, very important you learn this so you can be successful in your relationships. I want success for you in your relationships. Now, this is one I don't think Dad has told you or any of your friends have ever shared with you before, which is precisely why I want to share this such important point with you here, okay? Please, sister of mine, understand that career matters. You need to understand this. And I don't mean career matters in the sense that how much money he makes. I mean career matters in you determining how successful or unsuccessful a relationship could be with this man. So let's kind of lay this out in a chart here so that we can all be on the same page here. Now, I'm going to give you an example of 2 different type of career paths so that we can be on the same page and understand this better. So first, let's put here a math, make sure I can fit this, a math teacher up here. All right. And over here, we'll say a bartender. Okay. Let me write this better so you guys can see it better. I like it to fit. I'm gonna make it fit. Math teacher. Okay. So let's kind of look at the lifestyle of, let me fix this here. Let's kind of look at the lifestyle of a math teacher versus a bartender, okay? Now, what will a math teacher be doing, right? So essentially working, we'll say 8 to 4, okay? Or we could even slice this. This would be their schedule more. It would be more or less, we'll say 6 to 2 p.m., right? So your math teacher, man, is going to be working 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. Pretty logical time to be working, right? He's going to have a set, put down here, a set schedule that you can be aware of, know well in advance, okay, months in advance, in fact. And he's also going to have his set vacation, okay? You're gonna know when he's on, when he's off, what his entire schedule is. Now, this is another key point in terms of career, right? He's gonna be in his career interacting with kids, which means for the most part, unless hopefully you're not dating no weirdo man, for the most part, his interactions on a daily and weekly basis with the children that he's teaching is going to be, appropriate, and he's just going to be teaching those kids and helping them. He's going to come home, and hopefully he doesn't take any of that baggage home with him. Okay. Now, let's look at the schedule and the lifestyle of a bartender. So we'll just say working late night, okay? Also, bartender, right? Depending on whether or not he can get shifts, depending on how many other bartenders are there, right? Inconsistent shift. Oh, let me write that. I said shifts. Shifts, right? Inconsistent shifts. time a little off, right? Some weekends he might be working, some Thursdays he might be working, he might be trying to get more money, so he picks up more shifts and things like that, right? You also have, now this is the very important point here. Think about it with the math teacher, he's interacting with kids here. Who is the bartender going to be interacting with? Interacting with drunk adults, okay? Let's also imagine and take it a step deeper here, because this is his job, to interact with drunk adults, feed them alcohol, get them to pay for things. Let's also understand for here in the math teacher, how does the math teacher get paid? The math teacher gets paid a salary, which means as long as the math teacher goes to work, does his lesson plans, does them on time, and do what he's supposed to be doing in terms of teaching those kids and being a good educator, he gets paid the same thing every week and every month. The bartender is working off of tips. So what does that mean? In order for the bartender to make more money, he's encouraged to interact with those drunk adults in a way that will get him more tips. So what does that inherently mean? He's got to flirt for more money. Now, I know this isn't a shocker to you, little sis, that bartenders have to flirt for more money or interact with drunk people. I know you know how bartending and teaching math works. But here's the thing that I want you to understand. When you meet a guy and you're trying to understand, is this someone that I should be investing my time and my energy into? One of the things that you need to be understanding and analyzing is the life that this man is living, is this conducive to a long-term healthy relationship, or is this a career path that I can foresee having a lot of issues sustaining a long-term healthy relationship in? Now, I'm not saying that all bartenders are bad people, or if you're a bartender or a server or something like that, you're a bartender because you're a bad person because you work in that industry. That's not what I'm saying. What I want you to understand, though, is sometimes when you meet a guy, you're going to have to, I shouldn't even say sometimes, all the time, when you meet a guy, you want to be factoring in as much information as you possibly can. And you also want to be realistic with yourself in understanding, before I have to experience these pains with you, what are the most likely pains that I'm going to experience in a relationship with you? Very important to understand that, because if you're not foreseeing that, if you don't have the foresight for that, or if you don't have the future thinking of what that might turn into, you will end up having to experience that pain through being in a relationship with him. So I say this to say, understand that the bartender's job, literally what he's meant to do, is to flirt for more tips. He's going to have to flirt with girls. He's going to have to get Instagrams. He's going to have to maybe in some cases exchange numbers, right? All under the idea that he wants more tips. He needs to get paid more, and he can't get paid more if he's not flirting, if he's not interacting, if he's not smiling and making people feel good. But this can become a very slippery slope for you, little sis, because when you invest yourself in a man that's in this place in his life, how are you supposed to set boundaries now? It's very difficult. And when you do want to set boundaries, how are you supposed to implement that when the boundaries that you want to set directly oppose what he's supposed to be doing at his job? Because then it becomes you versus his career. When you tell the bartender, hey, I understand it's your job to meet people and interact with them, but I don't want you flirting with the other women at your job. But it's my job. Yeah, I get it's your job, but you can't flirt with them because it's inappropriate and it's disrespectful to me. But if I don't flirt with them, I don't get tips. If I don't get tips, I don't get money. If I don't get money, I can't live. So then what are you supposed to do, little sis? You've just now invested your time and your energy into a man that you can't even set boundaries with, because his career or his lifestyle, we can even say in a more holistic sense, is not conducive to those boundaries. So when you're looking for men in your life that you want to meet and you want to grow with and you want to invest your time in, before you start investing your time into any man, have an understanding and an honest conversation with yourself. Is his lifestyle or career conducive to having a healthy long-term relationship? Or will I struggle to have to set boundaries in our relationship because of what he chooses to do as a line of work? If the answer to your question is I will probably struggle to set boundaries because literally his work is doing things that are boundaryless, then you probably should stop investing any more of your time or energy into those men. And I'm not saying that those men are bad, and I'm not even saying that they'll be living that lifestyle forever. But remember, you're not here to build men. You're not here to raise them from the dirt, and you're not here to wait around for men to be ready to build a long-term serious relationship with you. If you're looking for that, you need to be looking for that and that specifically. Not allowing yourself to invest in men who are not living a lifestyle that is prepared for a long-term relationship. And then after investing yourself in with him and into him, then you start saying, but I don't like this, and we can't set this boundary, and I don't like this, and I feel disrespected in this way. You're always going to feel disrespected when his lifestyle is not conducive to being able to set boundaries. So career matters. And take that into account, career and lifestyle. Take that into account when you're meeting men, what their career is and what their current lifestyle is. If they're not in a mind state or a mind frame, right, even in a more sense, if you have children and you're dating men and you're looking at which men you're going to be dating, you can't be looking at the men who their lifestyle is, I want to go out here, I want to travel to Dubai, I want to travel to Bora Bora, Bali, I want to be free, I want to not worry about anything. That's not a conducive lifestyle to having children. You can go on trips, but you ain't going to just go on 10 trips a year. You got children, you need babysitters, you got a plan. It's not just wake up and do whatever, right? So I say that to say whatever your lifestyle is at this current moment, sister, you have to be factoring that in when you meet men to say, do we align in our lifestyle, or is our lifestyle on a totally different plane here? Am I going to be able to build a happy, healthy relationship with you with the lifestyle you're living, or are we going to be on two different pages? We're going to be working against each other, okay? Let's hop into number 7 here. Okay. Number 7, so important. I put it last year because I want this one to be the last one that sticks with you and everything that we talk about. By the way, do you guys have any questions so far? Am I making sense? All right. I hope as a big brother, I am making good sense to you. Okay. I seen some of you guys comment on the other one when I did like a father. You're like, you're younger than me, but I guess, yeah, like a dad. But this one will be a little bit more appropriate for those of you who are older than me, okay? It'd be like, oh, I guess big. You're young. Don't worry. You're young. You're youthful, okay? So let's go on to number 7. Please, never, ever assume with men. Never assume. When you meet men, you're going to hear 2 types of stories, okay? You're going to hear, let me make this bigger because this is going to be funny. You guys know, I don't know how to draw very good, so just bear with me here, all right? Imagine here when the men are talking to you and you're getting to know them, they're obviously going to be telling you stories. You're not going to be watching a video of their entire life. So when they're telling you stories, you have to understand that, oh boy, you have to understand, these are angel wings, okay? Don't be mean to me. You have to understand, they're constantly, when they tell you stories, especially at the very beginning, they're going to be painting a specific type of picture for you. And that picture is going to be that they're an angel. They're a good person. They're a kind person. They take care of people. Rarely are you going to get out of people, especially on those first couple of dates, that they're like this, okay? Let me see if I can draw this here. We'll just put the horns up. Rarely are they, that's like Mickey Mouse. Who cares? Rarely are they going to tell you that they are a devil, right? And I don't mean in a biblical sense. I just mean they're not going to tell you all of their bad and horrible qualities. They're not going to tell you all the ways you should be unattracted to them, or you should not want to be with them, or not be in a relationship with them. Why? Because that doesn't serve them. So I say that to say, little sister, when you're hearing stories from men, when they're telling you stories of their life, their past relationships, where they've been, or even what they want with you and want in this relationship with you, what they want to build, I want you to take everything that they say with a grain of salt. You guys are laughing at my drawing. You think it's funny? Pay attention. You don't want to allow yourself to fall for the fact that because his story sounds so good, or he seems like such an authentic person, that there's nothing left to dig into. Stories, and especially stories about someone's past and the life that they lived since before they met you, are one of the most important foundational pillars to understanding that human being as they currently exist now, why they are the way they are now, and who they've been since they've met you. You need to get those stories straight. And a lot of times, those stories will never have all the key important details that you must understand from the very beginning. So never be satisfied hearing a guy tell you a story about his ex or his life or what he was doing before the first time on the first date. Don't assume because you've heard a story one time before that that's all you need to hear about the story. Understand that men that you meet and you go out on dates with will be inclined to omit things that make him look like a devil, right? To leave those things out conveniently, or in some cases completely lie about them or change the story about them to make himself look more like an angelic figure. Make himself look better, make himself sound better to you. Why? Because you have nothing to actually go off of, no experience except for the stories. However, that's not good enough. And see, with time, when you ask the same questions over and over again, when you get those stories and you get details of those stories, or you go back to points that he mentioned in those stories and you ask them on different days, on different weeks, in different months, you'll start to get more and more pieces of the picture frame or the parts of the story that make him look like a not so good person. Because the feeling of wanting to present himself like an angelic figure after a while will eventually wear off, that he starts slipping up and telling you pieces that he didn't tell you before. So what I want you to do, little sister, is when you start getting to know a guy and he's telling you these angelic stories that, sound really good and he sounds really authentic to you, I'm not saying you call him out and tell him he's a liar. I'm telling you, be patient. Be patient with yourself. Be patient with this relationship and continue gathering more and more information. And if at any point you stumble across information or a story that doesn't seem like it makes a lot of sense, I want you to dig and dig and dig and dig until it begins to make sense. Never assume you know everything about a man at any point. At any point. Continue to be curious in your relationships enough to ask questions and get more information and get more understanding. Never be satisfied, because I promise you, the more information you gather, the clearer the picture will be, the more you'll know, and the more you know, the better of a decision you can make about yourself and your relationship, right? With all of that good, amazing information. All right. Does that make sense to all of you beautiful people here so far? Do you guys have any questions about the 7 that we just discussed here today? Okay. By the way, if those of you who are on TikTok and you missed the points that I talked about, you can always go and find them on my YouTube. My YouTube is just above my head. I think it's blocked there on the screen, but my YouTube is just my name, Tomisin Atobatele. Okay. So just type in you can even type in my first name. Go on YouTube and you can rewatch the show because I'm live there on YouTube at the same time, okay? Nor says, can you listen again? Go on my YouTube. Watch it on there, right? You can watch the whole live stream on there, and you can rewind them there, okay? Any of you guys that want me to repeat it, it's all available on my YouTube. Just type in my name, Tomisin. You can just type in my first name, and you'll find it there. right? V says tips on getting the truth sooner. There is a threshold, right? You're never going to get all of the truths on the first day or in the first week. It's just not possible. Doesn't matter if you hang out with him all week. Doesn't matter if you hang out with him every single day, right? You're not going to get those truths all right away. It's going to come over the course of time, because part of this process is the guard coming down of people, where they stop caring so much about presenting the best version of themselves, where they're curating stories and making sure that everything sounds good. After a while, they start to say to themselves, oh, well, I'm just going to tell you it as I remember it. And they'll start telling you things that they didn't tell you the first time. It's a very sneaky thing that people do and that men do, but it's okay. I'm going to make you aware of it so that you can know what's going on and then act accordingly, okay? Never be satisfied with feeling like, oh, well, I just have enough information. Never assume, never assume. Always be gathering more and more information. Get in the business of being curious and gathering more information. Venus says, oh, by the way, you guys have any questions, okay? Venus says, dated a guy with a six, I think he meant to say six-pack. He had no TV in his flat. He said, I don't want to be a lazy man with a beer belly watching TV. 1 month later, found he had a cannabis addiction. It's crazy. It's crazy. I'm telling you, some of those things, they only come out with time. As you can continue scouting and scouring the landscape for information, you'll start learning and learning more things. And a lot of times, for those of you who are on the mature side that's been in a lot of relationships, you'll know that a lot of times when you hear that first story, that first storyline from a guy, and you're just like, wow, that sounds really strange, or that just sounds very unlike anything that I know anyone else to do. You know that usually ends up manifesting itself into, oh, there's something really weird or strange about you that you are hiding from me, that you use this weird, stupid story to hide that thing, okay? And just understanding that that's what people do, especially guys do, will help you in your relationships. Just know, oh, whenever I hear a story like that makes really no sense, like you're so different or just very abnormal, I'll just wait to figure out what that story actually means or what that actually is, instead of, trying to be like, oh, well, I guess, he's just different, okay? It's not that. Whenever you hear something abnormal, there's always a thing behind it. You just have to figure out what the missing piece of information is, okay? Right? Henya says, so we are all looking for the same guy. Well, in the sense that, think of it like this, right? You're here with me. I'm like your big brother, and I'm teaching you all of these things that guys will do, how they'll pursue you, how they'll talk to you, how they'll try to manipulate you. You become armed with information. When you go out into your dates, you're more aware of these things. It becomes easier to spot guys who aren't what you're looking for. And the reality of it is that's the more important part, because if there's a majority of the men in your life that you're meeting aren't who you're looking for, it's good for you to know all the different ways that men will come to your life and not be what you're looking for, okay? Then once you weed out all of those men, eventually some men, or one man I should say, will emerge from the ruffle and show you what you are actually looking for. And you'll be like, okay, yeah, you actually fit the criteria of what I'm looking for. You don't have any weird qualities, and you've been consistent and shown me the qualities that I want in a long-term relationship. I don't want any of this that we discuss in the show and about life and about relationships to discourage you or make you feel like there is no man who will ever fit your criteria or be who you're looking for. There definitely is, okay, and there definitely will be that love waiting for you. But what I want for you to get there quicker is to spend less time on the men who aren't what you're looking for. That way you have more time and energy to spend on the eventual man who will be what you're looking for. That's the key element to everything that we discuss. I want your time, and I take your time and energy so seriously that I don't want you to spend it on anyone or anything that doesn't serve your future happiness or your ability to have a long-term happy relationship, okay? Does that make sense? Right? Someone says, dang, it won't be any men left. Don't worry. You guys are here with me in the Players Club, and I know it's a lot of you. I know you guys feel like, well, damn, it's damn near like 1,000 of us. We be watching the show. We be on your videos and all that stuff. It's like a lot of us. How's there going to be enough men for all of us? There's lots of men, and the reality of it is you're a small sliver of, intelligent, information-seeking women, and you'll end up all getting, it's possible for all of you to get all the amazing men because there's lots of good men out there. And then we can leave all the trash men to the other women who aren't information seeking and don't want to understand more and arm themselves with information. So you're like part of a secret society here, right? You're learning more, you're understanding more. Then when you go out, you're like a Jedi. You know everything that you need to know, and you're like very prepared. Okay? Does that make sense? Dulce says, accept him only to find out he was hiding other women's stuff during my, I think you said during our relationship. Yeah, I'm telling you, you might find out some crazy stuff. Aline says, what if he taps into, I'm a man and I'll handle it when he's in a non-happy state? Well, that's another thing, right? Some of their reactions might not necessarily be toxic, right? And sometimes when a guy's angry or upset, he might have, a response that he gives based on, just the type of person he is. Not every time when a man is upset or angry, he's going to treat you badly. What I want, though, is for you to take notice of how he treats you, or how anger or sadness affects him and affects, your relationship. He might get angry or upset and literally just deal with it and not treat you badly at all, and just put his focus on whatever it is he's angry or upset about. That's not necessarily a bad thing. But what I want for you is to take notice of what is that process and what comes from that. Is that something that I can deal with? Is that something that I feel like, okay, I understand you, or okay, we can still build from this? Or is it something that you're like, oh no, you get disrespectful, you talk to me crazy, and it's just something that you don't want to deal with, right? Does he stonewall you like someone just said, right? And you're making the determination based on the information you gather, seeing your experience with him when he's upset or when he's angry, to determine, is this something I want continuously, or is this, not going to work for me? Okay. Malik says, my ex wants to have access to me, but at the same time, he doesn't. Sounds a lot like what we were talking about earlier with how men will, hold an umbrella of friendship over you and make you feel like, oh, well, we're just doing this because we want to be friends. And, friendship is the reason for the season. When in reality, he has his ulterior motives that a lot of times serve him through the funnel of friendship, okay? And we don't want that for you. We don't want that for you at all right? Ella says, outside of the club, he said he is getting upset when someone is touching him from the crowd. To control himself, he prefers to stay outside. I gave him minus points for it. Was I right? That sounds like a very specific situation. You probably got to put that in our Discord. By the way, chat, for those of you who have questions for me, make sure you put it in our Discord, because we're going to get to our Discord near the end of the show. And when we get to our Discord, I want to make sure you guys have time to put in your questions. So if you have like a really specific question that you want me to answer for you, fear not. You just head over into the link in my bio on TikTok or the link in my description on YouTube. Go into, click the link where it has my Discord here, the Players Club Discord. Click that and then go into the Discord, put it in our relationship advice forum, because I'm reading all of our questions, personal questions at the end of the show here, okay? So make sure you guys do that. All right, let's hop into our next segment, which is not the Discord yet. We're gonna do our React segment of the show. In our React segment, I'm going to be watching TikTok videos that you guys have sent to me about love life and relationships, and we're going to be kind of experiencing them together, okay? Now, I'm going to clean up all this stuff here. In the meantime, while I'm cleaning up, we're going to watch an intermission video. Today's intermission video comes from the awesome Steve.
Biggest frustrations women today have is men putting in little to no effort. All right. Maybe even to the point where women feel like men today want to be chased and pursued, and just is throwing off the dynamic that women are comfortable with, or women feel that it should be. And the point is, it just creates a lot of problems. Now, I know we can automatically think, well, if he's not putting in the effort, he's not serious, that's the end of it, point blank, period. Not exactly. I know that might sound surprising, and I'm not here to defend minimal effort men. some of the situations, and we'll break it down, a little bit later, is just a guy who's not serious. But there's a lot more to it than that. And I'm not going to explain this to you for the sake of you just willingly accepting it, but to better understand it, because some situations are fixable and some situations are a symptom of you need to let him go ASAP and do not entertain him any further. So one of the big, and to some it might be a surprise or not, but one of the big reasons why men give minimal effort is because they're getting horrible advice. All right. I was going to use the word bad, but horrible is what came out. So here's the unfortunate reality, especially in today's world where the internet is saturated with tons of advice to people about dating and relationships. A lot of men are being told, basically, don't do too much for that woman. Don't put in too much effort. You're going to come across looking thirsty. She won't respect you. She won't value you. All these different things. So a lot of men are coming in, whether you want to call it guarded, whether you want to call it just thinking that this is the more effective approach to take. And it's creating a lot of, again, as I mentioned, frustration. Now, understand this. Though I do not agree with that approach, I'm not going to lie to y'all. A lot of men have seen that when they've tried hard, they've gotten burned. And when they've tried less, they've gotten results. All right. You might say, that's not me. I don't do that. I wouldn't entertain a man, giving minimal effort. But I'm telling you, if you surveyed a lot of men, if you have male friends, uncles, brothers, whatever, and you ask them what they've seen, they will confirm a lot of men have seen that play out that way. And this is why they think this is the appropriate approach to take. Now, I know it's deeper than that. All right. I also know that just because you elicit initial response from that woman, that's not a setup for a good relationship. All right. So for the man who's actually interested and actually trying to be intentional with dating, this is not a recipe for success. But I want you to understand as a woman that, yes, these men have seen that happen. And so we could argue, and just to you, as a woman, you may already have ideas of why that would be the case. But I'll throw one thing out there, is the fact that, let's face it, sometimes what happens is when it's a man who is so willing to make all this effort to impress this woman and get this woman, it's a situation where he wants her more than she actually wants him. All right. Which is why
he's on YouTube, literally just titled Steven Speaks, okay? Stefan. I keep saying Steven. It's Stefan Speaks, okay? So that's his handle there. Let's hop into our first video here, which I believe comes from her.
Hey guys, welcome to my list titled Signals a Man Will Never Provide for You. I need you to listen. If he has an aesthetic Instagram, open a Roth IRA. What the fuck are you doing? Like planning a photo dump, dude. Like, invest. Text in lowercase? That's for women. Women. I don't even do that. Has a messy room. You're gonna spend the rest of your life picking up after that man. Like a child. DoorDashes every meal. Get off your ass. Get up. Why are you DoorDashing shit? Loves gambling. I understand a parlay here and there, okay? I do it too. But if you love gambling, you're gonna gamble away your kid's college fund. What's your wife gonna have to do? Pick up 2 jobs. 2. Owns anything designer. Do you think a stable man with a great income that's providing for a wife and kids is wearing a fucking Van Cleef bracelet? Answer quick. They're not gonna protect your family from shit. If I was an intruder, I would target a man with a Van Cleef bracelet, because what the fuck is he gonna do? Has some kind of ambiguous way of making money on the internet. Oh, I do, like, internet marketing. I do, like, stocks and crypto. Clock in. Then clock in. Then show me the dashboard. Stop posting Instagram reels promoting a fake business, bro. Get a job. Doesn't eat meat. Or has, like, a ton of dietary restrictions. You think a man that's a vegan is gonna protect me from
Okay, chat. She's obviously making a funny, but let's continue.
shit? We're walking on the side of the road, we get jumped. You think a vegan is gonna help anything? If there's like a selfie on his Instagram, a mirror selfie, even just a photo of just him, what are you doing? Like, he took that photo, he said, I look good. Let me put this on the gram. Plays video games like all the time.
Yes.
You could be doing so many other things.
Yes. Yes.
Weird.
Yes.
Signs he will provide.
Yes.
Doesn't understand social media
Yes.
trends or most memes.
That one, yes. That one, yes. Plays video games, yes.
I'll like think of a meme in my head or like some kind of like funny little social media thing, and I know I can't say it to my boyfriend because he's not gonna know what the fuck I'm talking about. And I thank God every single time I have one of those moments. I had to explain to him what Freak Bob was. He thought it was so funny. I was like,
What is Freak Bob, chat? Sorry, I'm not updated on the TikTok universe lingo. I try to stay updated. I can't get everything. What is Freak Bob? Please tell me. What is that?
we're like 3 months behind on all the things that you think are funny. But I love that. Doesn't have TikTok, barely posts on Instagram. I want your only post to be like you and friends or family once a year, or just your girlfriend.
But what about whatever, chat? I don't get it. She's making it funny. It's okay. It's okay. What is Freak Bob? I honestly don't know. You guys on TikTok should know this. You're on TikTok. What's the point of me having you guys? You guys don't know it. You're supposed to know it. All the trends. Supposed to tell me. I'm like a grandpa.
If I was a woman in this lifetime, which I'm not, but if I was, I would very much pay attention to the relationship the guy I was interested in had with his mom, because it's going to tell you a lot about how your relationship with him is going to go. If he has a codependent relationship with his mom, you will never be the first woman in his life, and that's going to be a big problem, especially if you intend to have kids and to build a family. Some moms don't want to let go of their precious baby boy because their whole identity is wrapped up in that. That goes to codependence, and now they have dysfunctional relationships with other women. If I was a woman in this lifetime, which I'm not, but if I was, I would.
I've actually both helped women in relationships like that, and giving advice, like in my private advice section and stuff. And also, I actually have friends that have relationships like that with their mom, right? And that can be a problem. That can be a real problem, because, like he said, you're not going to be able to like ever one up her or be more important in his eyes, and so you just end up. Instead of feeling unseen because your guy is cheating on you and looking at other girls or something like that, you just end up feeling like a second priority to his mom, which is just as painful, and honestly even more painful, we could say, because it's not like the mom's going anywhere. It's a tough situation to be, but if you're in that, you're best served just leaving that.
Would very much.
I might end up hurting some feelings, so proceed at your own risk. Who you have sex with determines a lot of things for you.
Are those I was gonna say those earrings remind me of Nunu from ATL. Those of you that know. Some of you guys don't.
If you're having sex with somebody who's very low vibrational, those vibrations are going to be passed on to you. And whatever vibrations you carry are going to be passed on to them. Sex is a definite transfer of energy. That is why after you have sex with a low vibrational leech, you are going to feel drained. And that person's going to feel completely energized. How convenient, right? And that's why after you have sex with somebody who matches your energy, you both feel completely replenished and fulfilled. Be mindful of who you lay with because it makes all the difference. Just don't hook up with anybody that you wouldn't want to be like. You deserve better, boo. Listen to me. I might end up hurting some feelings, so proceed at your own risk.
I like this. And we actually just talked about this today, right? Sleeping with people is like an energy exchange. So when the men try to encourage you to say, oh, sleep with whoever you want, you can be just like the guys. I mean, trust me, the men that are doing that too, they're also traumatized. I wish I could show you guys this video where a guy is talking to another guy and he's literally saying, bro, I sleep with too many girls and I have too much energy just flowing through me. I can feel it and I need to change my life. Trust me, even the men that do this excessively, they feel dark and empty inside. They just don't talk about it. So you don't feel like it's actually happening to them. Trust me, they feel empty inside and they feel horribly. It's not a fallacy.
The truth about sex that most people don't want to accept is that this is a sacred, energetic.
He's 100% right. Sex is one of the most powerful energy exchanges that we can have with another person, and many people don't realize. Many people also don't realize that your past partners can be affecting your energy right now. So this can manifest even in physical symptoms, UTIs, yeast infections, lots of different problems with the bladder, anything around these sexual organs. And that is because something is out of alignment with our sacral energy center. So how do we clear this energy from our bodies? I'm gonna give you one of the most powerful practice that I've used to clear energy of past partners from my body. Basically, you make a little list of everyone who you've ever been with, and you're gonna do this individually. So you'll bring your awareness to your sacral chakra, you'll remember that person, and you'll say, I release any energy back to you, and I call any fragments of myself back to me. You can even just imagine physically sending their energy back to them. You'll also say, I cut any energetic or spiritual cords with this person. You can imagine pulling that energy out of your body, letting it go, releasing it. Then you'll take this person's name and you'll burn it. As the smoke is going into the air, releasing, send that person your gratitude for any life lessons and send that person your compassion. But recognize that that energy is no longer yours. This is an incredibly powerful practice. Try it, you're gonna feel so much lighter.
The truth about sex.
I actually like that. That was a really, this was a really powerful TikTok. I wish she did like YouTube or something because that was very practical advice. I like when people give, like me, right? I'm not the first one to do it, but I like when people, when they give advice, they give like practical, tangible things that you can use or try it in your life here. Someone said, sounds like witchcraft. I know when people start talking about spiritual, energetical stuff, it can get really feel really hippie, like, oh my God, like, what are you talking about? Third dimension, your third eye and stuff like that. But what I want you guys to understand is it's not even a religious thing. But there is an energetical exchange between human beings when you sleep together. And that's why sometimes you might sleep with someone for the first time, and then when you wake up, it's not just being hungover, but you just feel weird. You feel different, or you feel off, right? And it happens because of those reasons. It's just you can't really put your finger on it because you don't know what's happening, right? It's not of the three-dimensional, something you can touch, feel, or see, right? But it is happening. Trust me.
Ladies, pay attention. 9 times out of 10, men are always going to do what's best for them, not you. Because I hear a lot of girls have this conversation about, if you're the right one, he'll change for you. And no, they won't. No, they won't. They won't. I'm sorry. Like, even if a motherfucker love you, if he don't want to change for himself, he's never going to change for you. It has nothing to do about your love or nothing. Men always put themselves first. I feel like, in my opinion, based off what I know, being a man, observing men, growing up around men, I think, biologically, men are selfish. Like, they will put themselves first every trip, no matter what. And I know this because I have friends, I have family, and they will do it. And I've seen so many women get done dirty, and this is something I had to change and learn about myself. I hope.
So then you got to start putting yourself first as well. And it doesn't mean I got to be rude or horrible to all the men, but you just got to start being selfish with your time and your energy. So when you see that you're meeting people that are just trying to extract from you, or you're meeting people who aren't who you're looking for, immediately withdraw your energy and don't waste time going back and forth with people who aren't aligned with what you're looking for your future or for your life or for your happiness.
Hey Make him stand on it. Whatever he decided to choose, make him stand on it. Oh, you thought the grass was greener on the other side. Now you got to go over there and be with it. Stay over there. Don't come back. No. And y'all want to know what's the crazy part? They want to come home because it's no fun no more. It was only fun when they were doing it behind closed doors and fucking you over. It was only fun when they were doing it in the dark and hurting you behind your back. Now that they can do it openly and freely, they don't want to do it anymore. No. Stay over there with them hoes. Stay. Matter of fact, I will bring your shit for you so that you can get nice and comfortable, because you could never come back here, nigga. Ever. They be trying to come back home, baby. This house is not a home anymore. I changed the locks. It's a gated community now. Your name's not even on the lease anymore. What are you trying to come back to? You can't spin the block on me. No. And I don't spin the block on niggas. I reroute. What Megan say? So make his ass stand on it. People always try to go and see what the other grass is like. And when they finally realize that it's not even a fraction of what you provided them, all of a sudden they want to come home. I'm not that ex, baby. I'm not that ex. You cannot come home. And that'll scare them. They thought they could go and do what they wanted to do. Y'all know what my favorite thing to tell a nigga is? Now you got to go be with them. Those same people that you allowed to ruin your relationship and your destiny, now you gotta go be with them. Damn, that sucks. And now you're realizing that you don't even really like them that much. Well, sucks to be a loser.
She's funny. Lei Long, she's funny. We had one of her videos on Friday. She's a funny one. I like her. But yeah, I think in terms of what she said though, don't be that person that allows guys to come to the realization afterwards and then start appreciating you only when they realize that, things aren't working out with the person that they thought was, best for them, or the person that was causing problems in your relationship before. I always tell you guys, allow men to be who they want to be. So if they want to be someone who's out here doing whatever they want, being out late, living life however they want to live it, for sure. You let them be who they truly feel they're destined to be. And then let them live in that destiny, okay? And when they realize that destiny isn't what they want for their life, you tell them, hey, I'm happy you did what you wanted to do, but that's what you wanted to do, and I'm not interested in that. And you just let it be. You got to learn to just get comfortable, just letting people be themselves, and you take the burden away from yourself. You rest good at night, knowing that you took care of you and your happiness, and whatever anyone else chose to do outside of that is not of your concern. You'll be a much happier human being. All right, chat, let's hop into our next segment of the day here. Spam it up if you guys know what segment is coming here. We got a very important segment here, part of the show. It's a very amazing segment, very awesome segment. And it's one of the best parts, not the best part, one of the best parts of the show, okay? Very special time, an amazing time where you're going to laugh and cry. Don't look at your watch. Don't look at your clock. Don't look at your phone. Don't look nowhere else in your home. If you don't know the time, I'm going to tell you the time. All right, chat. Let's hop into our Discord section of the day. Now, for those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, I'm going to explain this to you real quick so we can all be on the same page. Discord time is where all the amazing members of the Players Club community get an opportunity to ask me a personal question about their relationship or their situationship, and I answer it live on the show. Now, there are what the hell is all these ads? There are obviously a couple of ways to send in, I shouldn't say obviously for those of you who don't know. There are a couple of ways for you to send in your Discord question, and I'm going to explain them to you right now. So you can send them in through our free section in the Discord, which is just available through the link in my bio on TikTok or the link in my description on YouTube. Go into the Discord, go head into the Players Club Discord, and then go into our relationship advice forum. And then you can drop your question in there. Now, obviously, you can see there are a few highlighted questions I still haven't done, and I won't be able to answer yours today necessarily if you put it in our free section. However, if you send your question into our premium section, I'll be able to answer it a lot sooner. Now, the way you get access to our premium relationship advice section is by clicking that same link in my bio on TikTok or the link in my description on YouTube. But instead, you go to premium relationship advice. Then when you go to premium relationship advice, you donate to the show. In your donation, you're going to send in the title of your username and your question, the title of your question. Then I answer it, once I get a notification on my phone, I see that that's you, I see that that's your question, and then I read it out here and knowing that that's you and you're where you're supposed to be, okay? You can also send in your question via our private relationship advice forum. Our private relationship advice forum is also available in our Discord, and you can also get access to it through the link in my bio on TikTok or the link in my description. And this option is for those of you who don't want to ask your question and have your information all on the show. You can ask your question directly to me, and I answer it via your email, and I send you back a voice message and answer your question that way, okay? So that link's also available in my TikTok or in my description as well. Let's hop into our first premium question. Let me make sure I don't skip anything. Okay, yeah, we did this one by yesterday or on Friday. This one, yeah, we did that one already as well. Okay, so we have to do, and my best friend is insane. Oh no, we did Angelus. We did Angelus. So the one that, oh no, I think we did them all. Sticky Man. Yeah, we did Sticky Man as well. Okay. Yeah, these were from Friday. So we're gonna go right into our free section. Okay. Let's start off with Green Monkey. Green Monkey, says, what are your thoughts? My boyfriend keeps talking about his ex excessively. Oh, do we do this one? It'd be so confusing. Yeah, we did this one. Yeah, we did this one. If my boyfriend keeps talking about his ex, okay? Right? So, Dante says, guy at my university, okay? I believe it's Dante, that's how you say it. I'm noticing this guy at university. He's fine, good looking, but I don't talk to him much. I've always felt this strange attention he gives me, but maybe it's just me. One time during a class, I sat near him and he was trying everything to get my attention, but I wasn't paying much attention to him until I saw he was persistent in talking to me. I was listening to music, and as soon as I took my headphones off, he started chit-chatting with me about music. So I asked him for a band he likes so I could listen to an album. Wait, what? I did, and we saw each other again after 2 weeks, but we didn't talk much. This week, when he was talking to my friend, I started a conversation about music, and he began talking to me, even touching the back of my neck as a joke. Can't explain, sorry. What is the joke there? Is this a Gen Z joke? I don't know. Is this a new era joke? That's like, oh, touch the back of your neck, ha ha, it's funny. Is that one of those new ones I don't know about? He would come to me while I was studying, either joking around or playfully teasing me. Or he gives me the same level of familiarity he gives his friends, but I don't talk to him that much. But he grabs the back of your neck? I guess it's a Gen Z joke. It's so strange, I don't get him. I'm not I'm not shy. I don't have any problem talking to people. I connect easily, but I can sense that he's different. I don't know. Last time he was talking to me, he kept saying my name a lot. WTF. He's probably not doing it for this reason, but just little fun fact, psychology trick. One way to get people to be more fond of you or to be more engaged in a conversation, you say their name a lot because people like hearing their name and it engages them a lot. Just a side note. For example, I had a sketchbook in front of me and he doodled something when I wasn't looking. I just erased it and said, F you, and he laughed. Okay, university. Okay. Or he said my name and started teasing me as soon as I sat near him for the first time. Okay. I think he's just like that. I don't know. He's very spontaneous. But what do you think? I don't want to give him too much attention, but I want to try and attract his attention. What do you suggest? English is not my first language. Okay, you did a good job here. Dante, here's the thing. This is cool and it's fun. You know, you're in university, you're having fun and everything's fun. It's a good time. You're young, you're doing your thing. I'm not saying that flirting is a crime or anything like that. And I'm not even saying that he's a bad person because he wants to flirt with you. It's not a crime. But here's the thing. When he wants to flirt with you, sure, he'll do that. But if he's not willing to like progress this further than him just flirting with you casually in class, then there's just really nothing you can do. And there's nothing that you're supposed to be doing here. Because if he knows that he likes you so much that, you know, maybe he wants to actually explore a relationship with you or, you know, get to know you on a deeper level, he should be the one to bring that up, not you. So yes, it's cool and it's great that he's flirting with you, but I mean, sometimes also you have to understand, and I say this when I talk to you guys that are asking me questions about a guy you work with. You have to understand sometimes guys will use convenience and the fact that they're already supposed to be there, whether it be at work or at school or in class, as a way to just say, well, I'm already having to be at this place. I might as well find a cute girl that I find interesting to flirt with, have some tension with, because that will make the time go by faster and make this more interesting. I know it sounds really horrible, but you have to recognize that for some men, they just enjoy making the time more interesting by flirting with someone. But if you were to ask them, hey, now that you actually have free time to do whatever you want, do you want to actually see that person? Sometimes those men will just say, no, I'm not that interested. I just like flirting and just like the back and forth. So I say that to say, recognize that and recognize that if he's not willing to actually see you outside of this, then he just wants the back and forth. You know, you're in class. He has to be there anyways. So it's fun for him to just be in class. Oh my God, we're flirting. Will we, won't we? But then when he gets out of class, he goes back to doing what he was already doing and he doesn't think of it. Okay. I just say that to say guys who actually want to build something, they'll actually try to build it more than just flirting in class. So nothing for you to do there. Okay. Beautiful one says, how do men really feel about women willing to be in plural marriages? Oh boy. I'm 29 and I want to get married so that I can have some halal PP. Okay. So you're Muslim, and you want halal PP. Okay. I am completely okay with polygamy because I see it as me being a part-time wife instead of full-time. Okay. So part-time, it can be all about me and not have to I can not have to be a wifey cooking and cleaning, etc. I actually don't care either way as long as he treats me like a princess, my bills get paid, and he puts it down in the bedroom. I will be putting myself out on the market soon and will be using marriage dating apps to find a husband. The ones geared towards Muslims always ask if you're open to polygamy. So when I fill out my profile, it will show that I'm open to it. My question is, would it look like I'm selling myself short by being open to it? Do men think that women who are accepting of them having relationships with other women have low self-esteem? Should I change my stance on this topic since I don't care what he does either way? Do you really not care though? And it isn't a requirement in Islam. I don't want to come across as easy to walk all over, which has been my problem in the past. So I don't want to come off as too chill and easygoing. Okay, beautiful one. I see your issue here, because if obviously that's the culture, the religion is also kind of the culture in a way, right? And in that culture, it is okay to have multiple wives, but you don't want other guys to perceive it as, oh, this is just, I'm just cool with whatever type of thing. Here's the problem though, in this. First of all, I would advise you on your dating apps, don't put that on your profile. That's one of those things that I would rather you discover by having conversation with someone, seeing where they stand. That way, if a man was never thinking about polygamy in the first place, you don't reveal your cards and then now he's saying, oh, perfect. Now that I know you're in a polygamy, I was willing to be just me and you, but now I'll decide to be in a polyamorous relationship myself. You understand what I'm saying? Not necessary to reveal your cards by putting that, on your forehead and on your dating profile. Let that come across in conversation if you're okay with it. And if you want it to be of someone who actually, that's their culture and they're not just using it as a way to take advantage of you, let him be the one to bring it up. Meaning, if he says, I love you, Habibti, I want to build with you, I want us to, go far, I want us to get married, and he doesn't mention having multiple wives, then don't say nothing. There's no need to. You just said you don't care either way. So no need for you to bring up, by the way, if you want to marry me, you can also marry 10 other women. You don't need to say that. You just let him take it where he wants to take it. And then if he does bring up, but I really am really in a polyamory and I really want to have multiple wives, how do you feel about that? Then you can let men know how you feel about that and be honest about that, okay? That's a better way to go about it than to just come out and say, by the way, before we even have a conversation or eat this food here, I want to let you know I'm polyamorous. It's unnecessary. Now, the second thing here is I need to be very, very, very clear with you. And this is coming from someone, I have Muslim friends. I also have one Muslim friend who is married in a polyamorous relationship. So for the most part, from what I understand about the culture and the religion, I may be wrong though. Here's the problem with this and what you're seeking for. You're telling me you don't care as long as you get treated like a princess. Sounds simple. Here's the problem though. You will not feel like a princess all the time. That's the trick. When you're in a polyamorous relationship, there are points where you will have to take the back burner or be less of a priority because the second wife, the third wife, or the whatever wife is the priority at that time or place. And just like with children, with human beings in general, when you have different personalities, different dynamics and things like that, there will always be a favorite. No matter what someone wants to talk about, I'm so evolved, I'm so different, I treat everyone the same, everyone is equal. There will always be at least one that is the favorite, that man gravitates towards more, that he confides in more, that he wants to spend more time with, okay? And the problem comes when you want to be treated like a princess, but you feel like a second or a third priority. And when you're wanting that affection and that love and that appreciation, you can get that. And in the process of you not getting that, not only do you feel the neglect, but you also have to sit back quietly and idly while you watch the man that you love give that affection that you're yearning for to another woman right in front of you. Okay? I'm not saying that to say you're not mature enough to handle that. But I just say that to say, when you say, I want to be treated like a princess, understand you're not always going to feel like a princess. Okay? You will feel like a princess sometimes. There will also be times where you feel like, quote unquote, a peasant, where you feel like you don't matter or where you feel like you're not the priority. If that trade-off of having your bills paid for, you don't have to be wifey all the time, you don't have to have all the responsibilities, and sometimes you're going to feel like a second-class citizen, if that is an okay caveat for you and the life that you want to live, then fine. But if you hear that and you say, I would like to be treated like a princess all the time. I don't want to, ever get treated like a second-class citizen or like a peasant in my own relationship. Well, then you're going to have to do some rethinking. Because your man won't necessarily be mean to you or be rude to you and treat you like a peasant. But I'm saying that you're going to feel as if you're a peasant because when you want princess treatment or you want attention or you want him to see you and pay attention to you, he's going to be paying attention to someone else while ignoring you. That's going to make you feel like a peasant. I don't want that for you. But that's the reality of having a polyamorous relationship. Your attention and your focus can't be in multiple places at once. And by the time you have multiple wives, there will be a favorite. So what happens if that favorite is not you? He can put it down in the bedroom, but what happens if when he puts it down in the bedroom on you, you're having fun, but then when you want it, he's going back to his favorite to put it down on and not spending that time with you and not being around you. See, you're assuming, beautiful one, you're assuming that this dynamic will consist of anytime I want my man in my life, I will have him, and I will not have to deal with the burden of always having to be in a relationship. The problem is there will also be times where you want him in your life and you will not have him. Okay? And honestly, that will happen more often than the opposite way. Because you're the one who's committed to him while he's giving his halal PP to other women. No diss. But you're more often than not going to be yearning for more while you don't receive what you actually want from him. So that's not going to make you feel very much like a princess. And if that doesn't sound good to you, then maybe you need to rethink what you actually want or expect out of a polyamorous relationship. Or that the reason I say that is because not only you and being Muslim, but I see this with a lot of other people who get convinced into being in a polyamorous relationship, not realizing, especially as a woman, it sounds good in theory. I get to be free, do whatever I want, love everyone. But then when you're sitting here saying, I love everyone, but I mostly love the man that I'm with, but he loves other women, and now I feel sad because I'm not part of this, now you're in pain. Okay? So you might have to rethink that. Santana sends in her message. Santana says, 22, no relationship, asking a preemptive question. Okay, Santana. Hi, Tommy. I'm not dating anyone at the moment, but I have a question for when I do. You always mention having hobbies on your show. What are your hobbies? Is also a common question on dates. Oh, you're saying that people ask that question a lot. I have a few hobbies: hosting parties, going to concerts, salsa dancing, and getting together with my friends to play games. However, the only one I do every day is read romance novels. Okay? Of course, there's a stigma around romance novels. It's seen as embarrassing, and I don't even tell my friends I read them. Why? You're reading who cares? Like, you can just say you read novels. Then if they ask what it is, oh, I like this one. I like why are you ashamed of you being you? You're you. Okay. Be proud of that. I don't advise you to be hiding who you are and what you enjoy. That's what you enjoy. Who cares? Who gives a damn? I'm wondering whether or not you think it's wise to mention to a man I'm dating if he asks. No, be you. What the hell? You read romance novels because you enjoy them. So say that. You can also add in these other things because just because they're your hobbies, that doesn't mean you have to do them every single day of your life, right? Things that you just enjoy doing in general, right? It's you. Be you. You don't have to be someone different, right? You can be honest about that. On one hand, it might make him realize that I value romance and romantic gestures, encouraging him to step up his game. On the other, it could make me come across as if I'm naive or have my head in the clouds. I'm also concerned that if he were to ask about what kinds of characters and love interests I like, that information might help him craft his custom Prince Charming skin suit. My preferred archetype does in fact happen to be the Golden Prince, which is basically a Prince Charming figure, though I'm partially... I'm also partial to devoted knights. That's pretty funny. Okay, here's the thing. You don't have to, you can tell him things without telling him everything. So here's what I mean by that. You like to do all of these different things, right? You just mentioned. You just don't do them every single day. You can still mention all of these things, right? You don't have to mention them just because you do them every single day. So mention the romance novels in conjunction, which means just also, and also mention all of these other things as well, okay? right? There's nothing wrong with that. Mention the romance novels, the hosting parties, going to concerts, salsa dancing, right? And he'll probably ask you some questions about any of one of those things. And if he asks you, and you don't have to say romance novels, just say, I also like reading. He might ask you, what type of books do you like reading? You don't have to say, oh, solely romance novels. You can actually just name some of the books you like reading, okay? And then when he says, oh, what's that one about? What's that one about? You can say, oh, it's about a girl and a guy and they do this and they do that. You don't even have to say, oh, I only read romance novels, right? You can just say some of the books that you read, and maybe some of them just happen to be romance movies or romance novels. Most guys won't even pick up on that, right? They'll just hear the gist of what the book was about because they're trying to strike conversation, okay? You don't have to understand that you don't have to, when you're telling people about your life or what you're interested in, you don't have to go into so much detail that you're like telling them everything about yourself. You can be kind of vague while still be giving people enough detail to understand you. And by the time you tell him the books that you like reading, while you talk about going to concerts and salsa dancing, there's so many other questions to ask. What concerts have you went to? Oh, you go to salsa dancing? What's it like? I've never been, right? And you can, there's a whole bunch of other stuff you can talk about in the hobbies question when you answer it this way. And you don't have to say, well, that's what I do on an everyday basis is read those romance novels, okay? And in the scenario in which he does ask you, oh, what are your favorite characters? Then you can just say, oh, well, I like this character for this reason, but I also like that character, right? I like some of the characters. And instead of saying, I like the character that's like Prince Charming, just say, I was reading blah, 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 blah. And I liked this character because he did this in the book, and it ended up affecting the book like this, and I didn't expect that. You can actually just describe the book. What you're talking about and referring to here is, I don't want to mess up and describe exactly what I want. Just describe the book you're reading. Okay, right? It's just a book you're reading. Doesn't necessarily mean that that book is the exact archetype that you always want and you're always looking for and that you love and you're fascinated. It's just one book, right? It's just one example of one book. And if you don't want to make him know that you only like the Prince Charming archetypes, then choose another book that you read that's not having a Prince Charming archetype. Change it up, okay? When he asks you what books you've read, you can say different books, right? And all of those, some could be self-help books, some could be romance books, some could have Dark Knights, some could have Prince Charming, like they can all be different. So you don't have to feel like you have to spread all of your information out and everything that you want and need in a man just by giving him your book prefaces. Just tell him the actual books that you read and tell him the actual things that happen, summarize them. You don't have to say, but I'm telling you that I read these things because this is what I want my relationship to be. You don't have to say all that, okay? And guys aren't reading into it like that. I promise you. They're just reading it into as a hobby of yours. Trust me, they're not that good. Okay. They're good. They're not that good. Right. Let's go on to our next question. Sis says Christmas present ideas. Okay. Christmas present ideas. He is getting me so many things because he asked my top, bottom, shoe, bra, and underwear sizes. And now I feel bad because I can't afford to get him a whole wardrobe like he is getting me. He is too rich for me to be getting him something he doesn't have. He's getting a Lambo soon and hasn't told anyone the color except for me. And he usually has toy cars the same color as his car inside. So I can get him a toy Lambo from Target. What? No, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay. Don't get him a toy Lambo. The thing is, the one I found there has a different interior color, so maybe I'd have to get the paint it inside. Don't do that. Okay. Just don't get him a toy Lambo. I can also get skincare, but he already has better skincare than I can afford to get him. Or maybe I can get us pedicures because he gets pedicures sometimes. That can be a good idea. Okay. This is a good idea here. Right? Getting a pedicure, it's like an activity, it's an experience. You guys can do it together, okay? Or maybe I can get him a steak, like, okay, you like and cook it for him, or just give him the raw steak, or just get him a scarf or something. He likes escape rooms, so maybe I could take him to that. That's another great idea, right? For a guy who's rich, giving him an experience with you that he already enjoys, that's always a plus. Even if the experience isn't hundreds and thousands of dollars, right? If he enjoys doing that, or you know that he enjoys doing that, and obviously he enjoys spending his time with you, doing something with you that he already enjoys, that's a great merge of worlds that doesn't have to cost $100,000, right? And men, I'm telling you, men will always enjoy that. doing something with the woman that they love, something that they already enjoy. It's great. He told me the best gift he's gotten was a Palestine flag necklace from his mom, but I can't get him a necklace because now he has this diamond chain he always wears. I was thinking an AirTag card thing. Wait, what? Because he sometimes loses his wallet. That's thoughtful, right? Getting him an AirTag to keep on his like keychain, that could be thoughtful, or in his wallet, that could be thoughtful, something like that. Overall, I'm thinking of making a basket with the toy car, face mask, pedicure voucher, AirTag card, Lush Scrubby, so overall, what is this? So overall, so overall in total, $116, which is on the lower end of what he spends on me every time I see him. But my options are limited because the things I should get shouldn't show he has, wait, what? A girl, because he has a strict family. Oh, okay. Should I add a Zara sweater since that's his fave brand Zara? That's another good idea. Or like a snowboarding ticket because he likes snowboarding, but that would be so expensive and kind of like an effortless gift. Or can I also get him a cigar kit because he likes smoking? That's also a good idea if he really enjoys cigars that much. But I think he probably already has one. And lip balm because winter is coming up. Do you think these things I listed are enough, or should I add anything? No, I think what you did was more than sufficient enough for his birthday, you said, right? Or no, for Christmas. I think the best options that you put on here are things that are experience-based. So snowboarding, you said that's a little bit outside of your wheelhouse, but snowboarding is good. The escape room would be a perfect combination of not too expensive, but also a good experience, right? Something for you guys to work together. I've been to escape rooms. They're great bonding experience. You work together and things like that. If you enjoy cigars, you can get him a cigar. That's another thoughtful, kind of unique thing. The Zara sweater, okay. The toy car, the face mask, though, that type of stuff, that's, that you just get like at CVS. I just think that a better present for him would either be an experience or something that he'd really actually use. Don't just get him like cheap stuff. Like, I'm not saying that the toy car and stuff is like horrible gifts, but don't just get him stuff that he's going to say thank you and then put on a table and never use or think about ever again. If you're going to actually get him something like an item, at least get him an item that he'll actually use past that day. Not just say thank you and it's just like a gift that he'll never actually utilize. So I say that to say the toy car, cool, but is he actually going to utilize that for anything? No. The face mask, probably not. Maybe just one time for fun with you. The Lush Scrubby, probably not, right? The escape room experience, that's good. Snowboarding, if you could afford that, that's good. Even the Zara sweater, I mean, he may not wear it. You never know, depending on his style. The cigars, if he likes smoking cigars, good. That's definitely something he'll definitely be into if you get that for him, right? So I say that to say the best type of gifts are unique to someone's like personality and what they actually regularly do. You don't want to get into the habit of gifting someone just for the sake of gifting them, especially if that gift is not going to get utilized past the day you gift it to them. Good gifts are always either an experience or something they will be able to utilize past that day. So just keep that in mind, or at least I should say want to utilize past that day. Okay. So just keep that in mind. Someone said, yeah. So yeah, that's my advice to you. Okay. I won't repeat what someone said in the chat. All right. That's the show for today, chat. For those of you who guys have questions for me, make sure you send them into our Discord here, and I'll answer your questions either live on the show or a personal question from me to you via your email. All right. Oh, did I get any? Okay, no super chats here. I want to make sure I got to them. All right, chat. For those of you who are on TikTok and you want to follow me on Instagram, my Instagram is just Tomisin_Atub. You can follow me there and see everything I'm doing on a daily basis. You can also follow me if you're on YouTube and you want to follow me. It's Tomisin_Tub. It's available in the link in my description. For those of you who are on TikTok and you want to rewatch the show because you missed some points or you just, thought some parts were funny, you can always go onto my YouTube channel, Tomisin Atobatele, and rewatch the show and see all of the amazing topics we talked about today and all the points, okay? Just go into the live section when you get into my show, and then you can click and see this live stream and all the other ones I've done since the beginning of time, okay? Also, my the YouTube and TikTok chat is available in the show, so you won't miss any of the conversation. Someone said it's over already. Chat, it's been like 2.5 hours. You guys don't be realizing like 2 hours be flying by, right? That's 2 hours spent with me. We spend the time. It goes by fast. All right. Also, thank you for the donations on TikTok from all of you beautiful people. I appreciate all of the amazing donations. Oh, and thank you to Nicole, who just donated $5 in the YouTube chat. She said, yes, you did get one. Thank you, Nicole. I appreciate that. All right, chat. I'm here every weekday, Monday to Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's my time to get on here for 2 hours for you guys. I'll be back again tomorrow at 4 p.m. EST. If you're wanting to catch me on that at that exact time and see me live to chit chat with me. Until we meet again tomorrow, arrivederci, au revoir, hasta la vista, sayonara, adios, ciao, salam. What was another one you guys brought up to me? Damn. I can't remember the other ones you guys said to me. Bon voyage! And I'll see you again tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Love you so much. I'll see you later, okay? I love you.